Helen, will you come and look at this? I was just showing Helen the cobwebs in the window. At the last meeting, I'm sure we agreed to get those cleaned out, and yet there they still are, cobwebs in the window. Here, it's quite clear from the minutes of the last meeting. Alice moved the cobwebs be cleaned out from the window. Seconded by Helen, carried. Now we're going to have to thrash it out all over again.
We'd better wait for a quorum, Alice. I'll put it on the agenda if you like.
Item 8, Alice to ask for an internal investigation into the cobweb issue.
What's Alice asking for?
All I'm asking for is some action.
Am I late? I just took a minute to sweep the cobwebs out of the window.
Without a quorum.
Just with a broom.
But I've already added Alice's cobweb investigation to the agenda.
Oh, I'd hardly call it an investigation.
Motion to remove Alice's cobweb investigation from the agenda.
You can't make a motion, Helen. We haven't even brought the meeting to order.
Then I move we bring the meeting to order.
You can't make a motion. Oh, just forget it. The meeting is called to order. Item 1 on the agenda.
Before we get to the agenda, can I ask to have the minutes reflect that the cobweb issue was discussed before the meeting came to order?
Jane?
Is that a motion? Should we stipulate that Walter cleaned them out?
With a broom.
If it will get us to the agenda sometime today, I will gladly move that the minutes reflect that the committee had a thorough discussion of the cobweb issue. The executive recognizes Walter's special contribution to the society by taking an extra 2 minutes prior to the meeting to clean the cobwebs.
With a broom.
With a broom.
I second that motion.
Not that I want to get bogged down with this, but I feel the need to point out that none of us has actually seen the window. How can we be sure that all the cobwebs are really gone? It's not that I don't have confidence in Walter's cleaning. One person's clean window is not necessarily another person's clean window. I'd hate to go on record thanking someone for
A half-assed job?
well, I wouldn't have put it that way.
Alice, will you please just go and inspect the window? We'll wait.
Come on.
But,
Come on.
oh.
Very well done, Walter.
Yes, well.
When I lived in Squamish, I had a reputation for tidy windows. Everyone in my watercolor group said so.
Further discussion? No? Okay then, all in favor? Carried. Now, can I finally bring everyone's attention to the agenda? Item 1, minutes from the last meeting. Now, in order to save...
Meeting of the Rosewood Art Society Executive Committee, January 16, 2016.
In order to save time, can I move that we accept the minutes without being read?
I second the motion.
All in favor?
But
All in favor? Carried. And I'm sure that we've all read the treasurer's report and the membership committee report and the newsletter editor's report and the gallery committee report. I move that we accept them all without being read and without discussion. Seconder? Helen. All in favor? Carried. Now, that gets us through agenda items 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now, item 6. Choosing a theme for the summer show. Does anyone have any ideas?
Yes, I was thinking from the garden.
From the garden.
Yes, from the garden.
I like it.
Yes, it does have a certain ring.
But wasn't that the theme of the spring show?
No, that was Dreams of My Summer Garden.
No, that was the winter show. The fall show was the garden in bloom.
Oh yes, you're quite right.
And I must say, Walter, I thought your early begonias from the fall show was magnificent. Every bit the equal to George's begonias beginning. But I suppose someone had to take best in show.
Oh, thank you, Helen, but I'm sure the judges made the right choice. George's piece was outstanding, even if the colors were a little muddy. Unlike your begonias in a yellow pot, which was truly vibrant.
Did you really think so? I do think I managed to say something with that one.
Well, the pot was so yellow. It was a brave statement.
Brave. You really think so? That means so much coming from the man who painted Queen Victoria's Rose's Secret. All that pink with a mere glimpse of naughty Queen Anne's lace showing through in the background.
Oh, that's very kind of you to say, Helen. When I lived in Squamish, everyone in my watercolor group...
I have something to say. Is it just me, or does anybody else think that we've pretty much done this whole garden thing to death? There, that's all I have to say.
But the summer show is always garden themed. It's tradition.
Yes, it's tradition.
Even during the wars, the summer show was garden themed.
The wars?
Oh yes, it's quite well documented that throughout the Great War and World War II, the Society maintained its tradition of a garden-themed summer show.
Winston Churchill painted lovely flowers.
So did Hitler.
Oh, I hardly think Churchill ever painted begonias, but his orchids were quite lovely.
Well, I, for one, am willing to consider something post-Churchillian. Did you have something in mind, Charlotte?
Yes, joy.
Joy?
Joy?
Joy.
Joy? That sounds like a Christmas theme.
Oh, but it doesn't have to be. Think about all the joys of summer. Picnics, swimming, children playing, warm summer nights, running through the grass in bare feet, fireworks, bonfires, and yes, if your garden brings you joy, that too, but not just that.
Well, I'm always willing to compromise. I have no problem with, say, garden joy as a theme.
I like it.
I think we should put it straight to a vote. I move we accept Charlotte's suggestion that the theme for the summer show should be garden joy.
But that wasn't my suggestion at
Oh,
all.
I think we should give credit where credit is due, Charlotte.
I second the motion.
Discussion?
But
No? Then all in favor? Carried. Now, item 7.
Can I just go back to the cobwebs one more time? It's all well and good that they've been cleaned out for now, but shouldn't we have something in place to make sure it doesn't happen again? A policy of some sort.
A cobweb policy.
Procedurally speaking, that's something that should be brought to the gallery committee first and then brought forward to the executive.
But do we really need a separate policy just for cobwebs? Surely that falls within our existing policies on cleaning. Items 12-7 and 8, I believe. They set standards for cleaning that, while not specifically mentioning cobwebs, clearly state conditions that cover such things in general terms. Unsightly is the word I believe used. Now, we don't want to start specifying what's unsightly and what's not. I'm sure we can all agree that cobwebs in the window are unsightly. We don't have to spell it out.
Well, perhaps I should have mentioned this earlier, but on my way in I noticed there were cobwebs in the light fixtures as well. It doesn't make any sense to write a new cobweb policy for the window when it's clearly a broader issue.
Enough! Jane, can you please make a note to refer the issue, the cobweb issue, to the gallery committee for consideration? Now, item 7, which is... Oh, dear God, the mop issue. What's this doing back on the agenda? If the mop needs replacing, let's just replace the damn mop.
It's not quite as simple as that.
It's exactly exactly as simple as that. A mop is not an issue. A mop is a mop. Please explain to me why it's not that simple.
The gallery committee reported the need for a new mop to the executive committee, which, as you know, discussed the issue.
Oh, at length.
At the last meeting, at which time the treasurer approved the funds for a new mop.
Well, there you have it. The funds were approved.
But the funds were approved specifically to replace the old mop. The old mop was a $7 mop. The committee thought it was in the best interest of the gallery to buy a better mop, a $12 mop. But the treasurer felt that that constituted a mop upgrade and not a mop replacement, so it has to go back to the executive for further discussion.
A mop upgrade.
Yes.
A further discussion.
Yes.
There. End of discussion.
Now, that being the final item on the agenda, I think that it's time that we consider adjourning this meeting.
But it's not. It's not the final item on the agenda. New business. The final item on the agenda is new business.
Well, yes, technically that's true, but...
But we've never had any new business.
Well, we do now. Tonight we do have new business. And you're all going to listen. You're going to stop thinking about garden dreams and garden blooms and mops and brooms and whose still life with begonia is better than whose. And you're all going to listen because tonight we do have new business. I have in my hand the Constitution of the Rosewood Art Society as it was written in 1903. It says, the primary purpose of this society is to promote and protect the interests of the artists of Rosewood. It's right here in black and white. Promote and protect the interests of the artists of Rosewood. Well, the interests of the artists of Rosewood are in need of protecting. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our primary purpose today, just as it was in 1903, just as it was in the Great War, just as it was during World War II. Now, I'm sure you all know that the River Street Gallery is putting on a show of nude art. And I'm sure you've all heard by now that a small group of loudmouth busybodies who know nothing about art have lobbied town council to shut the show down. And it looks like they're going to succeed. There's a public meeting tomorrow. So, my question to the committee is this. What are we going to do about it?
We?
Yes, we. What is the Rosewood Art Society going to do about it?
I don't think there's anything we can do about it.
More to the point, I don't think there's anything we would want to do about it.
Wait, Alice, I don't think you speak for all of us.
Well, I'm quite certain that she doesn't speak for all of us.
I heard there's a life-size statue of a nude male with parts.
There you have it. We don't want any part in supporting that.
That could be David.
David Montgomery? There's a life-size statue of David Montgomery?
Nude?
With parts?
My God, David Montgomery is 93 years old.
No, not David Montgomery. David! Michelangelo's David.
Oh, I saw that in Florence. He's the statue. It's magnificent. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. Off of him. Off the statue.
For heaven's sakes, what does the statue of David have to do with the River Street Gallery?
I was just thinking, if the Rosewood Town Council tried to prevent the River Street Gallery from showing Michelangelo's David, would the Rosewood Art Society do anything about it?
Once again, I don't think there's anything we could do about it.
Hors d'oeuvres, Adam and Eve.
Which is a garden painting.
We're not talking about David here or Adam and Eve. Real people modeled for this art. We're talking about real people here. Many of them from right here in Rosewood. Our neighbors. Nude. I hear there's a large oil painting of the Sullivan girl. What? She used to babysit my Richie. Do you think my Richie wants to see his old babysitter in the nude?
First of all, Alice, the Sullivan girl must be in her 50s by now. And second of all, your Richie took a selfie in front of that painting and posted it on Facebook.
Oh, I saw that. Was that Rose Sullivan? Good for her. And after 5 babies, too.
And don't think for a minute that part on the statue is the only one. There are 3 other parts in that gallery. Male parts.
It's a 4-part show.
Betty Parks and her group went in and counted them.
They inventoried the parts.
Well, they're going to be speaking at the council meeting and they wanted to have the facts.
And exactly how many parts does Betty Parks and her group consider acceptable?
Well, I, for one, am not taking to the streets waving signs to protect the rights of anyone to display a single part, let alone 4.
Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I'm not talking about taking to the streets waving anything. I'm just talking about showing up at the town council meeting. Talking about taking a stand as a group. I'm not talking about civil disobedience here.
Well, why not?
Why aren't I what?
Why aren't you talking about civil disobedience? I mean, if it comes to that. Look, we're artists. If we don't stand up and protect our freedom of expression, who will? Rosewood may be a small town, but that doesn't mean we have to accept small-mindedness. What are we risking if we do take a stand? Because I'll tell you what we're risking if we don't.
We risk getting arrested for one thing. Are you suggesting we get arrested over a nude statue?
Why not? I've been arrested before. When I lived in Squamish and they were cutting down old growth forests, we chained ourselves to the trees. Our whole watercolor group. Well, some of us did, but the others did a very thoughtful series of sketches. I shared a cell with my dear friend Myrtle for an hour or so. They brought us tea and lovely biscuits.
I'm willing.
Willing to what?
To chain myself. I'm willing to chain myself to the statue.
To the statue.
To the life-size statue of a nude man. I'm willing to chain myself to it, and I'm willing to go to jail.
No one is talking about chaining anyone to anything. At least I'm not. It's none of my business if town council wants to shut down the show, and I certainly don't see how it's the business of the Rosewood Art Society.
Well, I do. I think it's very plain.
Walter, listen.
No, Alice, you listen. Charlotte is right. We have a mandate.
Charlotte is right.
We do have a mandate.
Andrew, help me out here. As president, you must.
As president, I have an obligation to protect the interests of the artists of Rosewood. It's the primary purpose of the society. Charlotte is right.
But nudes, really? Do you honestly expect the founders of this society were thinking of nudes when they wrote that?
Well, I'm sure they weren't thinking about begonias. No, I think this is exactly the kind of thing they were thinking about.
Maybe not nudes, but freedom of artistic expression. I'm sure they were thinking about that.
If the town council is voting on what artists can and can't show in Rosewood, then the Rosewood Art Society needs to be there to speak out, enforce every one of us.
Oh, but...
Enforce every one of us. That means you too, Alice Jenkins.
Alice, you're not nearly as big a prude as you let on. I saw you at your granddaughter's bachelorette party.
Erica's bachelorette party? Wasn't that the one? With the guy? With the...
That's the one.
What was his name?
I certainly don't remember. In fact, I don't know what you're talking about.
Officer McNaughty. It was Officer McNaughty. I've got pictures of that party. I've got pictures right here of the two of you together.
Now, Jane. Oh, you get... Oh, all right. I'll go to the meeting. but I'm not saying anything.
No, you won't have to. Charlotte can speak for us.
But,
Charlotte can speak for me.
Me too.
And me.
Well, that's it then. It's settled. Charlotte will speak on behalf of the artists of Rosewood.
okay, I'll do it. But what if we lose? What if council votes against us? What will we do then?
Well, then, I guess Jane gets to chain herself to the statue.
I might have an idea.
Oh boy.
What if we tell them that no matter what they decide about the River Street Gallery, what if we tell them that the Rosewood Art Society will be putting on a nude exhibition of our own? And that can be our theme for the summer show.
What?
Oh, I like that.
Are you kidding? The members will never get behind it.
Well, we'll just have to convince them to get behind it. I think you'll be surprised. We just have to set an example by getting behind it ourselves.
I'm willing. Sarah Wilson told me about a strapping young model they had out for their life drawing class out at the college. She gave me his number. I'll do my part.
And I have a garden painting that's lacking something. Maybe Adam and Eve is just what it needs. And we can finally get that enormous male nude that Don Potter left in his will out on display. It's been hiding in the ladies' room long enough. Surely we can make some room for a dead member.
Oh, what the heck? I'm in. I'll give Rose Sullivan a call. We know that she's willing to model.
I think it's a wonderful idea. Alice, what do you think? Shall we put it to a vote?
But what about? Well, we can't just. What will the members think? What will George think? I've never. But. Oh, what the hell? I'm in.
We'll need a name. We can't just call it the nude show.
Used parts?
How about Joy?
Joy.
Joy.
Joy. I like it.
You better be sharing that strapping young model, Jane. Joy it is.
Joy it is. Now, I say that we adjourn.
Well, we still have time to get to the River Street Gallery before it closes.
Seconded. Adjourned.